up, Bobber Nation? It's Jim Bobbington, going for a little winter ride and taking you guys with me. As you can see, there's a bit of snow on the ground still, but it is about 50 degrees. Warm enough for me to take a short ride comfortably without any extra gear than I would normally wear in the summer, other than a hoodie under my jacket. I thought it was a perfect opportunity to discuss winter riding, what to look out for, what to think about to maintain safety in colder weather temperatures. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. Alright, we're back. So something a lot of you non-seasonal states aren't aware of is we have seasons in some areas of the country. And what that means is it gets cold and it snows. But we all still want to ride our motorcycles. So there's some extra precautions you need to take during the winter, and things you need to look out for. First and foremost, tire ratings are very important. If you're not aware, tires are made from all sorts of different compounds to perform better in given climates, temperatures, etc. That's why we have things like summer performance tires, snow tires, etc. They're all made from different types of compounds to perform differently under different conditions. So first and foremost, do some research on your tires and ensure that the tires you have are suitable for lower temperatures. I had a really hard time finding information about the stock tires. As far as like a temperature rating. But I was able to find a website with an article, I could throw that in the description, that had several recommended winter road tires, and the MT60RS that comes standard on the bobber these days, or at least on my 2021, was actually one of the recommended winter street tires. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Aside from that, you want to double check your tire pressures. When the temperatures are cold, your tire pressures are likely lower. So make sure those are in spec. But the rest is really paying attention to your road conditions and environment. As you can see, for the most part, the roads are really dry right now. But even so, they love to cover the roads around here in Colorado with sand and salt and gritty materials like that. That can be very slippery. You can see it off to the side a little bit here. I'm going to turn right. But as soon as the roads are dry and clear, that sand likes to make its way to the shoulder and the center of the road. So you need to be very cautious around twisty roads and do not hit that sand while you're cornering. That's an easy way to low side and lose your bike off the side of the road. Second thing is being aware of the sun. So all this stuff right here, that is south to the right of me. So these areas here next to houses never see sunlight a lot of the time through the winter, and there will be a lot of ice and wet stuff on those sides of the road. Sometimes it may just look like a shadow, but there can actually be ice, and even worse, wet ice in those areas. So be very, very cautious, depending on how recently it has snowed or iced. Possibly try to avoid your east and west directional streets to ensure you don't come across a place like that where you can't make it through a path of ice, at least not safely. In general, tires do not have as much grip in the cold as they will in the warm. So you definitely need to be more careful in regards to all driving, turning, going straight, accelerating, braking. Be very aware that your traction might not be as good as you are used to, and approach all turns and stops, etc. with caution. I did order some winter gloves and some winter socks, but I just haven't had the desire to go out riding in 30-40 degree weather just yet. Last year I did have some circumstances where I had to, because of maintenance schedule on my bike and things like that. So I've got those new gloves and socks that I do want to test out, but I just haven't really wanted to drive in temperatures so cold. Like I said, it's about 50 degrees now. My normal riding equipment is typically warm enough for just a short half-hour ride or what have you. But it's really that simple, folks. It's okay to ride in the winter if you have the appropriate tires, they're not bald, and you are very cautious for ice and wet and sand. So let me know in the comments below if there's anything I missed. But don't be afraid to get out there and ride in the winter. In fact, I make sure and try to get out and ride every 2 weeks or so as opportunities arise, because I don't winterize my motorcycle. I don't add any fuel additives. Yes, we have ethanol fuel here, 10%. Doesn't make a difference. If it's not sitting in there for months or years, it doesn't matter. So I don't winterize my bike. I don't plug my battery into a battery tender. I just make it a point to get out there every 2 or 3 weeks, get in a good hour-long ride. I top the tank off before I head home, so there's as little air in the tank as possible, and the least amount of moisture that the ethanol can absorb, and I've never had an issue, unless my battery was actually dying. So honestly, winter riding's practically the same for me. Just got to be a bit more careful and a bit more aware of your surroundings. Thanks for watching, everybody. As always, this is Jim Bobbington reminding you, don't be a skid mark. We'll see you next time.